Who doesn't love a summer day spent at the theme park with friends? Well, maybe once you get through this list you won't be so keen to hop on that roller coaster. While they aren't always that dangerous, sometimes they can turn on you and become killer. Number 1. Thunder River Rapids Ride. One of the rides thought to be the safest turned deadly in Queensland, Australia. After a malfunction meant 4 people were trapped in the conveyor belt machinery and ultimately lost their lives. Luckily though, the 2 children on board were traumatized but didn't suffer any injuries. Number 2. Drop Tower. Back in 1996 in a Californian theme park, a young boy aged 12 years lost his life after falling over 200 feet. What was strange was that the reason seemed unclear, and still does to this day. Although the family was adamant that the buckle had failed, it was still locked once the ride had returned to the ground. Number 3. Batman. After losing his hat on the ride, one young man was determined to get it back. He ignored the warning signs and proceeded to walk onto the track. It just so happened to be at the exact same time the ride was zooming past at 50 miles an hour. The boy was decapitated and died instantly. Number 4. The Texas Giant. Just after major renovations and refurbishments, the new and improved Texas Giant struck tragedy. A 53-year-old woman was apparently ejected from her seat and fell 75 feet to her death. Along the way she struck a pole in the tunnel's roof. Investigations later revealed the woman's size might have been a factor. Number 5. Fujin Raijin 2. This Japanese theme park disaster was the worst in the country's history and in the end meant that Expoland had to close. Over 20 passengers were sent flying from their seats when the cart they were on derailed. Sadly, a 19-year-old girl struck her head and died. It was later revealed the roller coaster hadn't had its axles changed in 15 years. Number 6. Great Adventures Haunted Castle. In 1984 a fire broke out in the temporary haunted house ride, a fire so bad that the 8 teenage victims had to be identified by dental records. Sadly, the cause of the fire was found to be arson and the theme park itself was spared prosecution because of this. Number 7. Verrückt. When a ride is taller than the Statue of Liberty, you know it's going to be at least a little dangerous. In Kansas City this massive water slide needed passengers to have a combined weight of 400 pounds. However, in 2016 a 10-year-old boy was killed when his harness failed and he was flung into the protective netting. The park will never reopen. Number 8. Superman, Ride of Steel. 2 separate incidents at 2 different theme parks but both on the same ride seems like more than a coincidence, doesn't it? Well, that's what happened when one man in Massachusetts was ejected from his seat and later died in hospital while another Iraqi veteran who had lost both legs went on the ride in New York and was killed. Number 9. Perilous Plunge. There was once a ride called at Knott's Berry Farm that boasted the steepest descent for any ride in the world. Tragically though, a woman somehow managed to wiggle out of her harness and fall 100 feet. Once the ride docked again, her harness and belt were both in the locked position, so it is still unknown how she got out. Number 10. Action Park. This amusement park was shut down for good in 1998 after at least 6 people were killed during their time there. At least one employee was randomly struck in the head with a rock while others died from drowning, heart attacks and even electrocution. It's safe to say it's a good thing this park is closed.